There it is. Pretty smooth. Only 2 fuck ups before we started the stream. Hello, welcome to Indie Games Social Club's bi-weekly catch-up chat, Smalltalk. I am today's stream master and tabletop simulator, Brian. With me today, I have the lovely, the beautiful, the slightly more fit than last week, Ilker. What's up, Ilker? How you doing?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. Is my new fitness my new body showing, or is it?
You're cotillion. You're coming out to the world party as a young, buxom woman.
Yeah.
Actually, since the last time we chatted, we've got a new follower. Welcome. I'm going to go ahead and replay this follower here. Welcome to the club, Axel Fox 92. If you're not a pornography spam bot and you're a real human being, welcome. But if you are a pornography spam bot, you know where our DMs are. So, with that said, we are a book club with no books that started last year, if you're joining us the first time here. We started last year as an excuse to finally dig into the bottom 5% of our Steam library. All those games we bought on sale years ago. Normally, we pick a monthly game and discuss it. This month's game has yet to have been decided, but the theme is completely open. We thought it'd be pretty refreshing, and so far we've got some really interesting submissions, but I feel like this is the most time we've given for submissions, isn't it? I feel like we normally do like a few days. This is like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because we did the discussion a little bit earlier than what we usually do, because the last Sunday of the month was
right. There was a lot of overlap stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why.
Cool.
Also, I'm in charge of the posting, so maybe that's also.
Life gets in the way. What are we, a multimedia conglomerate over here? What are we, giant bombcast? What are we?
Oh, too soon.
Oh, too soon. Yeah, let's. So usually we pick the game at the top of the month. We have a month to play it, and we discuss it at the end of the month. It is something my favorite pastime as of late. It is something I constantly look forward to, and it was the saving grace of the pandemic for me. Last month we did Rookie, which is the theme was folklore, and we picked something that is based on Scandinavian folklore, which I'm still not clear on the difference between Nordic and Scandinavia. I think it's just it includes certain countries or something like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So I guess this is the part where let's before we discuss what games we've been playing, let's talk about what's any life updates. What's going on with you, Ilker?
Any life updates? Not much really. As you mentioned, I'm still training out with my new fitness trainer, who actually turns out that he's also a super huge nerd. So we were talking about fighting games the other day.
Awesome.
He actually plays a lot of Tekken and Street Fighter.
No shit.
And
which Tekken?
Bonded over that as well.
Is Tekken still cool?
Yeah, it is. It's still very huge. I'm not sure actually which Tekken is. Is it Tekken 7? Maybe someone will correct me. I think 7 is the latest one.
7 was the last one that I heard was released. I don't know if it was well received or not, but 3D fighting games are its own technical thing. It's more. It's like it is. It's more. It's. I don't know about the Rochambeau aspect, but like I know that it is timing based, right? Because of the animations and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean it's still timing based in other fighting games as well, but I think the main thing about Tekken that differentiates it from other fighting games is that each button is a different limb on the body. Basically,
cool.
But then again, I'm just talking from what I've heard. Like I don't play Tekken. Like I'm a Street Fighter player and mainly just play Street Fighter games. So where you have a 6-button layout instead.
Yeah, I
So I'm
think.
not 100 sure. Like, don't take my word for it.
I mean, I wanted to get into 3D fighters just because it looked very
Yeah.
satisfying to play and pull off the combos. But like, I think Tekken 2 was the last Tekken I played, and then the last 3D fighting game I played was shit, Killer
Yeah.
Instinct. Which
Oh
was
shit,
that was
yeah.
very timing based and very combo and counter based, right? And
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it aged well compared to other fighters, but I remember it
Yeah.
being cool, like just knowing certain combos and being able to infinitely chain them and stuff
Right.
like that, you know?
I think I used to play more 3D fighting games when I were younger. A lot of Soul Calibur and Dead or Alive 2, I think it was, on the Dreamcast.
Nice.
But yeah, they are all right. I like Tekken. I think I enjoy watching Tekken tournaments more than I enjoy playing it, because it doesn't make any sense to me. And I think Tekken, like, it looks slow, but I mean that again, that is just my view upon it, like, the way I view it. I think
Right.
it's a little bit too slow. It looks slow
Yeah,
though.
I mean it's like in comparison to 2D fighters, that's pretty insane, right? Like
Yeah.
I think when I was watching the Street Fighter 2 documentary, I believe it was,
Hmm.
and they were just talking about how the original Street Fighter 2, if you look at it, is so damn slow. Like not
Yeah.
no turbo, no hyper, nothing, just a
Yeah.
regular Street Fighter 2 was like, whoa. And then so when they released, I think Turbo, like for the most part, the turbo mode became the normal speed for the rest of the games because turbo
Right.
is just, it feels more natural, right?
Yeah.
Pretty wild. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so cool. That's what you've been playing, or you discovered that
Mm,
a big part of your life
Discovery. Yeah.
also includes a bit of nerdery, which is real nice.
Yeah, that was fun. Like, I mean, like, we have common friends in common, and he has actually been talking to one of my best friends, who hooked me up with him. So
Oh,
we're planning to do a board game night. Three or four guys.
let
It's
me
gonna be
know if you
fun.
need any recommendations.
I mean, like, yeah, probably we're gonna need some, because me and my friend, we usually play like board games, so we might have a higher attention span.
Mm-hmm.
But since these two others are like, a little newer players,
Yeah.
might need to find something
That's the
more basic,
challenge.
something
Yeah.
easy.
You get
Yeah,
it. You get it. Because for me, like I have been playing board games for like modern hobby board games for like say 6 years at this point. And
mm,
so the balance is like I've been slowly outgrowing the games that I started out with that I really liked.
right,
And the balance is finding a game that is easy and accessible to new players that will also
right.
still hold my interest, as a,
Yeah,
like, I like a little bit more strategy, but sometimes strategy can be overwhelming and some people don't want to think and it's just satisfying to see, oh, what can I do now? I want to do that thing. Right.
yeah.
And I like that sometimes, but nowadays I like something a little more meaty,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah,
But with that
but we'll see.
said,
Hmm.
I have not been playing too many games lately. Continuing
Yeah,
on Resident Evil and our weekly or bi-weekly witness streams and stuff like that. But I've
yeah.
been reconnecting with my love of board games because I'm fully vaccinated at this point. I'm hitting up all my friends and
Yay.
setting up board game plays and stuff like that, purchasing more board games than I
Mhm.
can play. I mean, like, if you look right there is a stack of 3 board games
I
I have
see
yet
them.
to have
Yeah.
played. Actually, there might be, no, and then just in view there are 2 more board games, 3 more board
Is
games.
that the alien game you were talking about on the witness stream?
This
Yeah,
one is right there.
kind of looks like the
That one
alien
is.
logo. Yeah.
That's Aliens, the expansion for the one of the better Aliens board games. It's Get Away From Her, You Bitch. So it has Ripley in the
Uh-huh.
power loader suit, and this is called Last Bottle of Rum, which is it's kind of like a light-hearted party game where you're pirates and you're
Uh-huh.
trying to get the last bottle of rum. And this one is called Parks, which is an incredible game. Really, I don't know if it's beginner. I don't think it's beginner friendly. It's like if you've got the itch and you're like, what else is
Yeah.
out there? You introduce Parks because
Oh,
it's a
okay.
very good, easy to pick up, beautiful game based on the United States national parks, and it uses
Mhm.
that art style. Fuck it, let me get it real quick. Let me show you the box. Even hang
Sure.
on.
Yeah. It shows. Mhm.
everyone got to see my butt in my sweatpants. But like, check out this art, man.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's based on like national parks, and the idea is like you make a trek through and collect points and vistas.
Actually, it reminds me a little bit of Röki that we played last month.
Yeah, actually, it's very similar to the art style, like painterly 2D.
Beautiful.
You know, yeah, it's a gorgeous game. Really fun to play. Doesn't overstay its welcome. Satisfying. Yeah. But yeah, that's my life. What else?
Do you play any role playing games? Have you ever
like tabletop RPGs?
Mm-hmm.
I did a Star Wars one once, but the tough thing is as adults finding a consistent schedule, because you do it and people are pretty good for about a month, and then one person skips, and then the chain reaction starts. The next week someone starts to skip, and then two people skip, and then we're like, we'll just and that's just kind of how it is. Which is
everybody died.
Yeah, I'm surprised that our Indie Game Social Club video game book club has lasted so long, and I think part of it is because it's like join at your will. Like there's 8 members, and the most steady members are you and I and Simon. But yeah, it's low pressure and join in when you can, and it feels good in that regard. But wrangling a bunch of people and keeping that fire lit is important.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's a little bit harder to do with RPGs. But yeah, that would be fun. Like I was at the we have a sci-fi bookstore here in the old town in Stockholm.
Oh, dude, can you? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but can you do 2 things for me? Take a picture of that sci-fi bookstore.
Sure.
And take a picture of like a board game store, because I want to see what the board game stores look like out in Sweden.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, it's the same place. So like you go on the on the upper floor, and they have all these board games and role-playing games and Warhammer, and it's comics and books on the bottom level, and like in the entry level, and you go up to the next next level, and you have all the games there. So I was there, and I saw the cover of D&D Icewind Dale, and I was like, man, this looks so good. Like, because I used to play Icewind Dale, the PC game, and I was like, man, I really want to play this. Like, this looks fun. And I was just like looking at the book and turning the pages, and like, man, I want to buy this, but I don't have anyone to play D&D with. Like, how am I gonna make this happen? Like, and then I also saw there's a Swedish game called Mutant, just like a post-apocalyptic
board game,
role-playing game.
Oh,
yeah, it's a role-playing game, RPG as well, and it takes place in like post-apocalyptic Scandinavia.
Ooh, cool.
With mutants and robots, and it would have been pretty fun to play it as well. There's like 3 expansions out as well. So, like texting people, are you interested in maybe playing some?
Well, that's the thing about board games and the like, the hobby space, which is like it requires participants, right? There's this game that I've been dying to play for the past 6 years called Twilight Imperium. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it is notorious for being a 8 to 12 hour game. Yeah. And like, if you even talk to a normal board game player, they're like, "No, man." But like,
that game looks complicated just from looking at like the backside of that.
Like, if you're serious about it, you need to watch a 20-minute tutorial, so that even when you get the rules explanation in person, that makes sense, right? So it's a huge investment, and while I want to play it and I would purchase it in a heartbeat, I just know I could never get it to the table, because I would never be able. I don't know enough gamers that would be down to have a meaningful playthrough of that game.
I've seen, like, I watched, like, looked at that box art in the store, and I just see that cat dude. I think there's like a, I don't know, like a lion.
Cat dude. I think that's the official race name. But they just recently,
there's like spaceships and stuff that you can have.
Yeah, it's a 4X game, so it's like, it's really, they call it a space opera, right? Like, you go through building a civilization, negotiations, battles, epic space battles and stuff like that, right? That take 20 minutes, and you're just watching these people do this space battle on their own for 20 minutes, right? But the idea of it is like people come out of it with these stories like, oh my God, we watched you guys battle and I was the passive guy. So I was, whoever the outcome was, I was going to come out on top financially, you know, and you know, that kind of shit is like really cool to me. Right. But yeah, that's like, one day I'll find people as nerdy as me to play.
Maybe you should find maybe you should just play that Paradox game. What's that called? That's a Space 4X game.
Video game?
Yeah. From the guys that made the Crusader Kings and such 4X games. I'll look it up. I can't remember it. It's a Swedish company that makes it. And it's a popular game.
Yeah. So actually, the closest analog to Twilight Imperium, I would say, is Civilization.
Right.
But it has a lot more interaction because there's human beings involved. They did recently, as of like a year or two ago, release the 4th edition of Twilight Imperium, and it took the game down from a 12-hour game to a 10-hour game. So saving people some time.
Oh shit! Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that's that. That's what's been holding my interest as of late. Shall we move on to our small talk? What games we've been playing lately?
Sure. I'm trying to find the name here.
No. All right.
But yeah.
Before you do that, I will transition us to Smalltalk. All right. So this is the part of the show where we talk about the games that we've been playing as of late. Ilker, what have you been playing lately?
I've been chipping away at Yakuza Like a Dragon.
I
don't have much to say about that. I forgot to tell you.
Okay,
you have the video. You have the video from last time. I thought, but
I cleared out my download folder, so we're gonna look like damn fools.
Anyway, we're not gonna stick around too long for that game. Like I've been just
this is the Yakuza update. Anything new? Any revelations you like?
I hit a hard wall in that game. Until now, for like the 40 hours I've been playing this game, I've been just breezing through each battle.
Yeah.
And now I got to this dungeon where I'm up against Majima, who is the main protagonist from the other game, the last game.
Oh, interesting.
So you're fighting him as a boss, and I'm so underleveled for this fight. So
really? Considering how many damn hours you've already thrown into this game, you're underleveled? Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, I went into that fight with like at level 35, and he's level 50 or something. And yeah, it's just like one shot like every party member. And I went back and started grinding, and I got to like level 43 with all my characters. And I thought like maybe I have a chance now. Yeah. So I went in and like reduced his health to maybe 50%, and he just calls in the next protagonist from some other game, and he one shots everyone instead. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. The more you talk about this game, the more I'm like, dude, if you're a Yakuza lover, you would fucking love this game, right? Because it has so much. Also, there's a lot of ties to Dragon Quest, like a lot of nods to Dragon Quest, right? Something like that.
Definitely.
It just sounds like a delight to play. Like I'd have a huge smile on my face if I grew up playing the Yakuza games.
For sure. I this is my first entry to the series, and I kind of wish I had played all of the other games. But then again, I'm still enjoying this one. So
they go as far back as Dreamcast, right? Or am I thinking of another game?
Do they?
I might be thinking of Tenchu. No.
Tenchu.
No, not Tenchu, but what's that one where you're a detective walking around a city in Japan, interrogating people?
You're not thinking about Shenmue.
Shenmue, yeah, that's what I was talking about. I might be confusing Yakuza with Shenmue. I think Yakuza might be Xbox era, perhaps.
I think it was. I think it was Giant Bomb that said this on one of the the quick looks, but I think they said Yakuza is the modern day Shenmue. Which is such a good analogy for that.
Yeah, well, let's be sure. Let's see when Yakuza release date. December 2005 for PS2. Wow.
Okay. Yeah,
that was 15 years ago?
Yeah.
16 years ago at this point. Shit. No,
We're getting
15.
old there.
Yeah, relatively speaking. Anywho, so it is hard. Does that make you not want to play it anymore, or you want to keep playing and see the other stuff?
No, I wanna beat that shit. I wanna. The thing is, like, I spent my Friday evening trying to grind, just trying to beat that boss, and I didn't succeed. And then I went back on Saturday, didn't succeed at like again after grinding. So I thought, like, I need a break. I need to do something else because this is gonna get boring if I'm just wasting time.
Right.
So I think that's gonna be my weekend game.
So you said
But
dungeon. I'm assuming that it's a non-mandatory quest. It's one of those end game quests. Like after you beat the last boss, you can go back. Kind of like those.
no, this is mandatory. Like,
Really?
this is just
And you're that under
storyline.
level? That's crazy. That's wild. I mean, this seems like a 150-hour game, man.
Yeah. Oh, it probably is. I mean, I am at level chapter 11 or 12, and the game is 15 chapters. So, like, I'm closing.
Yeah.
Like, I can see the horizon, but I'm still not there.
Okay, so then, with that said, what is your main criticism of the game? You got to have one after playing for this long.
My main criticism is, I mean, it's a bit janky at times in battles. People will get stuck in the environment. But my biggest criticism is probably that the battles are not that fun.
Oh, really? That's the least fun part? All the other games in the game are more fun?
Yeah. I mean, they have like cool, fun attacks, but once you've done them, like, I mean, once the fun is over with the like the quirky attacks, just like the battle system is.
It's classic JRPG, right? Pick a menu, like classic. Attack, defense, item. Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
But it's like it doesn't do anything other than that. Like, if you have games like Persona where you can hit the weaknesses of them and stun your enemy, and when you've stunned all the enemies, you can do an all out attack with your entire party. Like, yes.
Oh, fun.
Like, modern RPGs, like, they introduce some new ways of doing battles, but this is just like old ass RPG. Like, you just, as I said, attack, choose an ability or a summon, and so once that charm, like initial charm, is over, it's not a super fun battle system.
I hear you. Yeah. Well, some people love that stuff, though. I mean, that's why there's a resurgence of classic JRPGs, right?
For sure, yeah.
In the indie game scene too, right? But
yeah,
I get it. What else? That was Yakuza Like a Dragon. What else you playing as of late?
So I've been talking about lunch games that you can play on your lunch, and my newest lunch game is Pac-Man 99.
Pac-Man 99.
Yeah, that's a fun game. Like, it's similar to the other 99 games that they've done. Although the Super Mario one was 35, but it's just like it's basically the same philosophy around it.
Right. Well, I watched an Easy Allies, or another a game review group on YouTube that I discovered, and they talked about how collecting the small dots is not really important.
Yeah,
and that the guy was able to get a win on his like second or third try because he just stood in one place and waited for people to eliminate themselves and each other. And then, just moved when he needed to, which sounds like not fun, but I'm wondering if they changed that. Like camping, I guess, is what you would call it.
Yeah, I mean, right? I've been trying that too. Like, but I would say, like, my biggest knock against this game is that, just like the other games, like, you don't really know what strategy is. You have to find it out by yourself or look it up.
Right. Because there is a strategy in these particular games, right?
There is, and apparently there's like two different strategies, which is trying to clear the map, or just try to like eliminate people. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, is it? Where does it sit in the battle royale games on the Switch? Like, what ranking would you say? I think there's Tetris 99, Pac-Man 99, and Mario 35, right?
Mario 35, yeah. I would put. I think Tetris is when that came out, that was such a cool thing. I'm not sure if I want to put that on top. I actually really enjoyed this Mario 35 one.
Yeah, I played it once maybe, and I thought it was great, but then I just never picked it up again.
I mean, I became the one Mario one time, and then I
Ah.
stopped playing. Like once you beat that, once you like you achieved that first place, there wasn't any incitement for me to go back and play more of it.
Slightly
Really,
unrelated, but that's exactly why I stopped
sure.
playing the Borderlands games. Because
Yeah,
the Borderlands games, at least 1 and 2, like if you play
yeah,
multiplayer and someone plays ahead of you, they
right,
can just give you loot they don't want, and you
right. Yeah,
have like
exactly.
high level stuff. So I played with my cousin, and he just powers through games, and I was like, "Hey, can you help me with this mission?" He's like,
Yeah,
"Sure."
yeah,
Jumped in. He gave me all this end game loot. I'm like, "This game's easy. I have no reason to play it
yeah.
anymore," and I just stopped playing the game.
My friend did the same thing with Diablo 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, 3.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it kind of ruined the game for me. Like I don't know
Yeah.
why I should be playing this game because yeah, I have all these good loot. Like oh,
Yeah.
but you can do multiple runs. And like I'm not like I don't want
No,
to do
it's
the
about
same thing
chasing the
over and over
loot,
and
not
over
chasing
again.
the
Yeah,
gameplay, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So I'm actually glad that they fixed that in Destiny. People are like, oh, there's no economy. You can't
Uh-huh.
trade, you can't sell. But then they're like, that's super toxic and it makes people drop off the game really fast. And it's a
Yeah.
smart decision because people are still playing it, you know?
Yeah.
That's Pac-Man 99. I think I might download it, I might play it, but I've never been a
Are
huge
you
Pac-Man fan.
Me neither. Me neither.
Yeah.
But just give it a try. I mean, it is. I think it's a little bit more complicated than the other 99 games.
Hmm.
Because you still have the like what do you call it? Like your strategy, your tactic. You can choose like either you're sending trash to random people or you're sending trash to the one who is closest to getting knocked out. So you have that, but you also have what type of power you want when you pick up the power balls.
Ah.
Um, so do you want a larger ghost train or do you want
Oh,
time
interesting.
to move slower? And like there's so much happening at the same time and you're like I don't know, it's very stressful and it's like a lot of shit happening and you can't really concentrate on what's like your tactics on the left and the right side because you're just
Yeah.
so focused on just not getting eaten by the ghosts.
I also heard that are skins that you can purchase, which is cool
Yep.
if you grew up playing
Yeah.
those games. I think we're a generation slightly after that
Yeah,
generation
I
that
think
would
so too. Yeah.
appreciate those skins, but also
Yeah.
that you can purchase single player mode. Is that right? You can purchase a mode
Yeah,
where
I
it's.
think there's yeah.
Can you do? Is it like what else do you get? Do you get like a private match mode? I think that would be fun to be able to play against each other.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if there's a private match mode, but yeah, there's a single player and a time attack mode and yeah, a bunch of skins. But like as you said, like everything is purchase. Like you have to purchase them, and I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, standalone, if you don't mind playing with randos, that's a fantastic deal for free, right? Having this battle
If
royale
you're
game. Um,
if you're a Pac-Man fan,
yeah.
definitely.
What I wish I got into, like, my mom is more of a Tetris fan than I am, but like, she never got into the idea. She just like that's her coffee game, right? Like, play
Yeah,
Tetris, but not competing. But I saw at least early on there were some really fun skins. Like they had the green Game Boy skin, like the green black and
yeah,
white kind of a Game Boy skin, and some really
yeah.
cool ones that I just never got into. But I appreciate that they did it.
Yeah, but you still had to pay for them, right? You like they weren't
You earn them. I know you
unlockable.
can pay,
Oh,
but that you can earn
yeah.
them during special events. I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a cool idea.
Huh. Yeah, there
That
was a. I want to remember. There's a at least was a one for Zelda. I wanted, but
I believe so. Yeah, just
yeah.
cool. Like Nintendo knows their shit.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
But I mean, that's a fun little lunch game. I'm not sure how many more weeks I will play that, but I mean,
it's free.
I'm either doing that or painting Warhammer on lunchtime. So,
I need to get back into
um,
painting. I always stop like halfway through painting a set and then move on to another set
yeah, and
of
I'm really
miniatures.
trying to focus to actually finish stuff because yeah, I get bored quickly. But I'm actually working on a Necrons project, which are the robot race, and
Ooh,
they are very forgivable and easy to paint. Like you
nice.
do a lot of washing and dry brushing. That's basically it.
Oh, cool. You know what my
Yeah.
sticking point is? I like painting heroes and I like painting unique figures.
Yeah.
but it's when you get to the minions that, like, usually in board games, like the
Yeah.
smaller guys, they
Uh-huh.
all look the same and there's like 20 of them. I'm like, oh god, I don't want to paint any more of
Yeah.
these. They get so tired.
You know,
Like, I think it was Zombicide, this game. It's like a dungeon
uh-huh.
crawler, but you're surviving a zombie apocalypse. There were like 70 zombie minis that were
Right.
basically all the
Yeah.
same, just men and
Yeah.
women. Oh, it was awful.
I mean, that's when you just base paint and give them a wash. Like you just cover it all. Like I have the privilege of owning a airbrush.
Oh, nice.
Um, and I for a few years ago I started painting a Night Haunt army, which is a like the ghost army in Age of Warhammer, Age of Sigmar.
Mm.
And they're basically a horde army, so you have a lot of models, like a lot of ghosts. So yeah, I did that with airbrush actually. Just sprayed it, started with black and then just went brown, and then like all the hands and faces, I just did that with like a grayish color, and
Uh-huh.
then just washed everything with a shade, and that
Nice.
was it.
So, okay, question. I've always wanted to get into airbrushing, and currently I have too
Yeah.
much stuff in my apartment, but I will eventually get into it. My fear is I know that you need the airbrush. I know that you need to know how to mix the paints and stuff like that. But also,
Yeah.
there's like, it's airbrushing paint. I'm assuming you have to have a fume mask.
Yep.
Uh,
I will highly recommend it.
yeah, I mean, like, whether you're careful about having a window open or not, particles are
Yeah.
still going to get in your lungs and stuff.
It's still
Right?
gonna like you. It's better safe than sorry.
Yeah, but then also, with that said, if you paint enough, do you just get droplets everywhere? You see like little microscopic things all over your desk and whatnot,
I had
or
a
window.
I had a white desk board or a white desk that I were painting on a few years ago, and yeah, you could see where what do you call it when the not the mouse pad but the pad that I have under to like my hobby pad
Oh
for
yeah, yeah,
cutting board, maybe
yeah,
you
yeah,
call it that.
yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
mat, yeah.
The mat, yeah. And when I just like remove that, you can see like there's a frame, like a gray frame
No
around it with
way.
from all the colors that
Yeah.
have been.
Also, yeah, if you're not wearing a mask, that shit's going in your lungs too, right? Like,
Exactly. So
yeah,
yeah, a mask is super important. Like get some plastic gloves as well because if you want, if you don't want paint on your hands.
yeah.
Um, but like the most important part for airbrushing is actually the compressor. You can actually buy a really cheap airbrush, but the compressor is the one that's going to make a difference.
Oh, interesting. Hadn't thought about
Because
that.
you want a big tank
Uh huh.
because you want to be storing as much air as possible. Because if you're not storing a lot of air, because if you have a small tank, um, the the compressor will run much longer and more often, which will make
Ah.
the tank warmer because the motor will just make it warm,
Oh,
and you will
interesting.
have hot air in it instead. So hot air will make the color or the paint dry much faster when you're
Ah.
brushing it. So having a larger tank will keep the air cooler.
Today I
Is
learned.
Yeah. But also, like, you want to get like a cooler. Like, if you're living in an apartment, you don't want a cooler or a compressor that sounds a lot. Like, you maybe want a fridge compressor on it, and
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's things
So
to think about.
that's
Like, so if you're gonna
yeah.
put money into something, put it on the compressor and just like
Good to
get
know.
a
I mean, I have a really tiny apartment, so a
yeah
relatively small apartment, so it's I'm a bit of a ways off, but I'd like to think maybe it'll be in my like hobby room eventually or something like that, right?
yeah. It's super fun though. I mean, I can highly recommend it. Like,
Yeah.
it's saving a lot of time
Oh
and
yeah.
it's fun.
Time is the most precious currency we have.
It
Right?
is. It is really.
That is airbrushing and Pac-Man 99. What else you got in the
Okay,
works,
we're gonna
Ilker?
move through these too
Yeah.
quickly. We played The Witness for a few weeks now. We've
Uh-huh.
actually made 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
That has really gotten me into a puzzle mood,
Uh-huh.
and I want to play some puzzle games by myself as well. So I bought the Room, the first one. I thought I was gonna play through the entire series.
Oh, nice. Oh man, the first one came out a while ago, right?
That was a long time
I
ago. Yeah,
played
I played it on
it came
iPad.
out on iOS, I
Yep,
believe.
yep, that's
Uh,
correct.
in wait, I'm gonna guess it came out '07.
Okay, you wanna look?
The
You want me to look?
Room game. Uh, no,
Oh, not totally.
2012. The Room,
That's so
2000.
long ago. Like, what's that? Like 8, 9 years ago?
9 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very long time ago. But I remember
It is.
like I bought the game because it seemed interesting. It was like, oh, puzzle, escape room kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Um, right before a flight to New York. And I played it for the entire flight.
Yeah.
And I was like so hooked. And I was like, oh, that's great. And then so like I don't fly often, but like the next time
Yeah.
I flew, The Room 2 came out. So I was like, yes.
Oh, and yeah.
So
It
I
has
can't
such
wait.
a great
I can't wait.
It has such a great atmosphere, and like
Oh my
you're
God,
like
yeah.
puzzles are fun, but I mean, I really enjoy the atmosphere. Like if you're into like I don't know Cthulhu-esque,
Yes.
or like
Yeah, I love
this,
that stuff.
yeah.
And it's so
Uh,
satisfying. Are you playing it on computer or iOS?
yeah, I actually playing on PC,
Oh, okay.
and I beat it in one sitting. I played it the other night, and it took me like 2 hours to beat the game, something
Oh,
like that.
cool. Nice.
But that was fun.
Yeah,
Turned off the hint. That's the
oh,
first thing to
very
do.
good, very good. Yeah, because it's very Zelda like in that like just when you think you want to give up, like you find the solution, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I will say, if you're feeling up to it and you can find it for a decent price, try it on iOS. It's very actually pretty satisfying. Like if you have an iPad that's big enough,
I
that
played like yeah, I
feels
played the on
tactile.
iPad. Yeah, I've played the first, maybe the second game as well on iPad. I'm not sure if I actually played the second game, but uh, I definitely played the first one. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'm just gonna go through them all and just I don't know. I actually really enjoyed playing on PC.
that's
I made
nice.
some tea and
Yeah,
just like had some tea and yeah, solving puzzles. It was
easy
really a
peasy.
really nice evening.
Nice.
So that's the room. And lastly, I think I might have mentioned this the last time as well. They just released a new character in Street Fighter V, which is Rose from the Alpha series.
I did not get that, but I can pull up. Hang on, wait. Did you send it to me in chat, Rose?
Yes, I did. Maybe the
Yeah.
the Wii transfer. You don't have to put a Wii there for it. I mean, those who knows, those who know
If you
knows
know, you know. All right,
exactly.
Rose. Here we go. Go for it.
So yeah, they recently released her, and before they released her, they actually released Dan as well, the Joker character from the Alpha series as well.
Nice. Where did
So I
Rose
think just
appear?
I think it was Street Fighter Alpha 2 or Alpha 1. It's in the Alpha series. I'm not sure if she's
Oh,
from the
right.
first one
And then
or if it's
Dan
just two.
Dan came from Street Fighter Alpha as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he was a hidden character as well. Like you had to like not enter a code, but you had to like I don't know, like
Really? Oh, like go off
move,
screen, right? Something like
go
that.
off screen. Actually, you have to move around in the menu to find him. And yeah, like I quite recently discovered that he used to be he was a joke character because they wanted to make fun of their competitors, King of Fighters,
Yeah.
where they have this Ryu character that is I don't know very passionate. So they made this very passionate character in Street Fighter as well, just to like tease them.
Yeah, and he
But
had
yeah,
like a shittier Hadouken, but is he actually a viable charactor now? Is that
no,
it?
he's bad. That's the whole thing. Like
Oh,
he
gotcha.
used to be really bad because he's like everything sucks about him. But they actually I think they actually made him good in this game. It's like he's
Really?
playable. Yeah,
Nice.
it's super fun. And Rose, I've never been into Rose, but I was excited to like for new characters and
What's
yeah, I
her
bought the
play
season
style?
pass.
What would you compare her to?
I want to say that like she's a zoner, but I'm not sure like if that's the right word for it.
So for people like Simon who would not know what a zoner is in a fighting game, what would you describe a zoner
So
as?
if you, so for
I know,
Simon,
but for
yeah,
Simon,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
exactly, yeah.
yeah,
But tell your friend that
yeah. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
that a zoner. If you take Street Fighter, for example, if you
Yes.
take Street Fighter 2, which a lot of people can relate to, you
Hmm.
have a character called Dalsim who has like really long arms. So you want he like his tactic is trying to keep people away from him
Hmm.
and poke them from afar. That is a zoner,
Oh,
and
okay.
just like trying to keep a zone.
Oh, that's like
Uh,
me at a bar. I'm a zoner for sure. I fucking hate people.
exactly.
Keep
Yeah,
my
that's
space.
that is what I would call a zoner. But then again, like she's I don't know. She's a cool character, but they changed the play style from what I'm understanding from the previous games, and now she has like she can summon different cards and throw them at people that will give them like a debuff, or she can buff herself
Oh,
with cards.
cool. Wait,
It's just
what's her like story? Is she's a fortune teller or something? Is
yeah,
that
she's a
it?
fortune teller. Yeah, and she
Very
has like the
cool.
same psychic powers as or psycho powers as the general, the M Bison.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
cool. Very
so
cool.
like
The
she's
special Carl, a zoner in a pandemic situation, is a wise person. Yes. What up, special Carl? Welcome to the chat.
welcome.
Please let us know what 2D fighting games you are playing and or any indie games you're playing as of late.
Yeah.
Um,
But
okay.
anyway, Ryan, I've been talking about my games for what, 40 minutes now?
Uh-huh.
What have you been playing?
Oh, nothing. That's the end of the chat. Bye. No.
Okay, yeah, that's the show. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Carl, for watching. Goodbye.
And here we go. No, just kidding. I have been not playing too many games lately, but I have been stacking up the board games as of recently because of the social situation, since I'm all vaxxed up. I have recently got into this great game called Fleet, the dice game. Meeple University is where I ripped this video from, but Fleet, the dice game is a dice game version of this. Like, board games today, the more boring they sound, the more fun they are to me, essentially. So if I describe this to you, oh, you're on the dev side, right on. Let us know what you're developing or working on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
by the way, Ryan, it still says Rose and Dan in the stream.
What is that?
Title. It still says Rose and Dan in Stream 35. Yeah.
Thank you. So Fleet, the dice game, is a game where you are managing boats.
Oh, okay.
And you are trying to go fishing and gain more fish and more money, and the person with more fish and money at the end of the game wins.
Sounds fun.
It does not sound fun, but it is very satisfying. So there's this new resurgence of games called roll and write games, which is essentially, if you've ever played Yahtzee, it's a very classic game. You roll dice and you write down your score.
Right.
And they've been getting very popular because there's a lot of dice versions of popular games now. But Fleet, the dice game, I've never even heard of the full board game, but the dice game is incredible because it is this Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, the game, but it's very satisfying.
You lost me.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, you roll dice, you get resources, you allocate those resources on your charts. And whenever you allocate resources, you get bonuses. So it feels like this slot machine that keeps paying off. And there's so much strategy without thinking too much because you're only relegated to the choices that are in front of you, which I mentioned earlier. I love. I'm not a huge think aheader. I'm a think about what's in front of me kind of person. And it's a slot machine that just keeps paying and you keep playing, and it's very fun. And it feels like this full-fledged 2-hour board game that's condensed in a 30-minute experience with how it feels, and it's very satisfying. So I highly recommend it if you like roll and write games. I highly recommend it if you like strategy games. And I highly recommend it if you don't like roll and write games, because it is very meaty feeling, and it looks good on the table, and it plays well.
Do you have any good dice for that games?
Dice?
Like, do you play with, do you
have,
do you play with your dice, or
it comes with resource die that, like, there's fish die, so like you roll the dice and there are different fish. There's like crabs, there's shrimp, and there's carp and stuff like that, and they look kind of cool. They're really well designed. And then there's a different phase of the game where you go to the dock, and then you get to do dock actions. So like you get to sell your fish, you get to commission boats to go fishing with you, and upgrade your other boats and stuff. It's cool. It's very satisfying.
It sounds fun. I like rolling dice as well. So
and because it's a roll and write game, you can play it solo. So there's been a resurgence of solitaire games because, look, why is solitaire the only solitaire game? So there's been a lot more games that include solitaire mode, and so you can kind of peacefully play it.
if you have any recommendations, I would gladly take them because I wanna play some board games. But yeah,
Yeah. Oh
we're
boy,
still
I got
slowly
some. I got some
with the
recommendations.
vaccine. Yeah, but like solo games would be super
Oh
fun
yeah,
if there's
I
any.
have an entire shelf dedicated. I will send you a picture after this.
Okay.
For like
Yeah,
solo
let's
games
do
that I hardly play, but they're still fun to whip out every now and then.
sure.
Great. The special Carl working on Amazing Fix. It's a hidden object puzzle game. Ooh, okay. What would you compare it to? Party board games are hard in this pandemic situation. Most definitely. I think that's why games like Jackbox took off because it's a very low barrier of entry and you can use your phone to play, which is cool, right?
I think they talked about that in the. I think was it the last Giant Beast cast. It's surprising that they didn't release any more games similar to that like
Yeah,
last year.
Jackbox kind of took hold of that whole
Yeah,
category and like
yeah,
no one really touched them, right?
yeah. And you had the what's the game that everyone played last year? The murder game.
Among Us,
Among Us,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the pandemic brought out all kinds of like weird observations and many good things, right? Like the fact that two people can meet during a pandemic over indie games, but never meet in
Overseas.
person.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Amazing Fix is a hidden object game about renovating and decluttering weird houses. I like it. The weirder the premise,
Yeah,
the
that
better.
sounds.
Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like a good premise.
Cool. So that was Fleet the Dice game. Oh, and it's on Steam. All right. Here's a special plug to the special Carl. Available on early access. What else you got? Go ahead and plug. Do you want to plug your Patreon, your Social Security? Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, so Fleet the Dice game. I've been continuing to play. It Takes Two. It is a very charming game, 2-player only.
Playing that with your cousin?
No, I'm playing with my board game friend.
Right.
And it's been great. And I told you about the boss battles are very inventive. If you watch the stream right now, it's showing the 2D fighter boss game. Like they go through genre. Like one iteration of that boss fight is bullet hell, and the one that I'm showing on screen now is like you're on a glider and you're doing a 2D fighting game, and it's hysterical.
Are you fighting a squirrel?
You're fighting a squirrel because you're two dolls that are shrunk down to like squirrel size.
Yeah.
But I mean, like they capture the charm so well, you know. And I'm recording. So where were we, Ilker?
We were going to talk about the games we're excited to play, and I wasn't really sure if I'm really excited about anything to play right now, but I recently bought Nier Replicant, the re-release of that first Nier game. I still haven't opened it up. I haven't put it in my PlayStation, but yeah, that is something I probably should be playing soon.
You're a huge fan of the Nier series.
Right? The Nier Automata was my only game that I play, and I'm a huge fan, and really fell in love with that game, and want to see what Yoko Taro makes next. But yeah, that made me look into the other games, the Drakengard series. Just watched YouTube videos and like summaries of that. That was a lot of time investment, but it was fun. It's so cool that that Nier Automata, like it is based on Nier, which is based on a joke ending from Drakengard 3. Like you have different, like multiple endings, and one of them is like a joke ending.
Which is interesting because does that technically make it a split, or are they saying that joke ending is now canon real ending?
You know exactly. I mean? Yeah. I mean, I guess it is.
Because they didn't really explain, unless like somehow Drakengard 4 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Extrapolates
if they
on
ever
that.
If they ever make a Drakengard game ever again, but that's a weird thing. But like Yoko Taro, that makes the game, like the director of the game, he seems like an insane person, and I really like his work. But yeah, I should be playing that Nier Replicant. I think why I'm reluctant is because I was so emotionally invested and so emotionally damaged after playing Nier Automata.
That's why I'm
a
scared to
little bit
take the
like,
full dive, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm still like, maybe it's just like I'm waiting for the right moment to start playing this game, basically.
You
But
said
yeah,
it's
other
like
than that, like
very existential philosophy and all that kind of stuff,
it is,
right?
yeah,
Pretty deep.
it gets so deep, and yeah, I highly recommend it. Like, I know you started playing that game, the Nier Automata, but
Yeah, I got to the part after the intro, and like the gameplay was fantastic between the bullet hell and then the boss fight that was like basically robot boxing, like a huge thing. That was fucking cool. And then I got to the space station, and I was like, I think I was stacking like 5 games at a time at that point, so I need to return to it. But it was good.
Yeah,
from what I played.
That's a cool game. But I don't know that, like, we next week in Sweden we have a holiday on Thursday, which means that I work half day on Wednesday, and since Friday is just in between 2 holidays, they will just cut that off. So I got like 4.5 days free next week. So it's probably gonna be playing something. But then again, like I'm in a really good like spot in Warhammer, so I think I want to build something. I think I'm gonna build a new tank or something and start painting that.
Ooh, very cool. Nice.
So what about you? What are you excited to play? You have anything on your
I'm
mind?
excited to play. Oh, what was the name of the game? Let me pull up my cheat sheet here. Xbox Game Pass continues to just be the cheap thing that just gives and gives and gives.
Yeah.
Last week I said or a couple weeks ago I said I downloaded this game called Pathway, which is a pixel art tactics game that is essentially Indiana Jones without being called Indiana Jones. It looks very cool, very excited to play it, but I'm just I've sidetracked to like board games, and our social lives are coming back a little bit by little. But yeah, in my spare time, I want to start that game. I was really excited to play Narita Boy, but after reviews and seeing some gameplay, like outside of the insane looking beautiful graphics, like it kind of looks very paint by numbers, hack and slash platform.
Did you put that on the list for next month's game?
Maybe.
I want to remember.
I don't think so. I don't believe I did.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's that. And then also one I just saw right before I started the stream is called Trials of Fire. And that is, if you watch the trailer.
Sounds like an RPG.
Yeah, it is a deck building RPG with insane, the graphics look beautiful. The art style looks beautiful. I think from what I gathered, it is a deck builder not unlike Magic the Gathering mixed with a hex tile based combat system. So they're not even trying to have like cool looking like figures or anything, but they're like when you get to the battlefield, you're literally like a face, a circle on a puck, and you're moving that around the field. But the animations are very satisfying, looking almost like Hearthstone. And the battlefields you'll see on the stream, but like you turn the page of a book and the image of the map just becomes 3D, and like it brings you into that world. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I can't wait to play it. And probably get overwhelmed, but it looks really cool. Hang on, let me put that title on screen real quick. The name of the game is called Trials of Fire. I wish it wasn't so generic, because that game, I don't know, I feel like they could.
The name is kind of the generic, but
yeah, the name doesn't invoke any feelings, like it looks like a cool Magic the Gathering system mixed with turn-based tactics. It looks badass and really well crafted, and I think it came out either this week or last week.
Yeah. Like, I think it kind of sounds like a JRPG title, but it's missing the first part of the title.
Yeah.
Be something Trial of Fire.
Yeah. Something that doesn't really make sense, like fantastic operata. Trials of Fire. Yeah.
Fantastic operata. That's a good first try.
I made it up. Is operata even a word?
There you go. Let's apparatus.
Yeah. But that is Trials of Fire. I'm excited to play. I hope you check out the trailer, because it's very exciting. And I think that does it for me.
Yeah.
Does that do it for the podcast?
I think it does. Yeah.
I think it does too. Sorry for the hiccups if you're watching live, but I'm going to take the time to stitch the good part with this part and have a full uninterrupted podcast for the YouTube viewers. All right. So thanks for sticking around. With that said, see you next time and say goodbye, Ilker.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Bye.